Hello everyone and welcome back to Couch Coaching. This is Jimmy, I'm Vince. Today we're going to be breaking down the Oakland Raiders and their weeks 1 through 4 matchups. This year through the preseason, we're talking about the 2012 season, sorry. And this year through the preseason, the Raiders are 1-2. 1-2. Haven't looked very well, very good. Carson Palmer is still being Carson Palmer. I'm having a real hard time with that. You know, he's had 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns. I'm an Oakland Raiders fan, so this is really killing me right now. We're going to talk about their week 1 through 4 matchups again. And week 1, they're going to be playing the San Diego Chargers. Jimmy's going to give you the stats for the Raiders, offensively and defensively, from the 2011 campaign.
All right, for the Raiders, average yards a game 350, rushing yards 133, passing yards 216, points a game 19. Defensive comparisons: the yards, they're only giving up 235. Their rushing yards are giving up is 82. The passing yards 153. And the points is 18. Now, I must add, they were also the most penalized team last year.
Right, and Dennis Allen is going to, again, try to fix that. You know, the Raiders have had a serious problem with penalties. They've looked pretty good this year as far as the penalties go. With these replacement referees, I mean, they've had some calls. This last game, they had a roughing the passer call against Tommy Kelly, which I think was totally bogus. But, you know, with these replacement referees, and I hope they get this thing solved pretty quickly. It looks like it's going to drag into the regular season.
It does look like it. I wish they would get it fixed, because anyone who's a fan of NFL can actually, who's honestly said watch the preseason, there's a lot of, questionable calls that these refs are not used to, because college rules are totally different than NFL.
And these aren't the Division I college. The Division I college referees. These are like the NAIA Division III.
Yeah, the ones that you normally, the games that you don't even able to watch on TV. These are, even I had to go back to the main out one that I saw against Dallas and Oakland in preseason 1. Tony Romo had to tell him where to spot the ball.
Right. They were putting on the wrong hash mark.
They were putting on the wrong hash mark. When you're reffing, and I've never reffed a game. I can't put myself in any.
But see, you don't get paid to do it either, though, Jimmy. You understand?
Right. Anybody who's ever volunteered to ref, they don't get paid to do it.
Right.
But you do your job the best that you can. You're paid to do this.
Right.
So regardless if it's a different rule or not, you get paid to know this.
Right.
And I really do hope they get it fixed before week 1.
Yeah,
I can see a lot of close games coming down.
Something, because like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the Giants, the last preseason game the Giants had, the referees gave the Giants an untimed down at the end of the first quarter, because they had a defensive penalty called, the opponent had a defensive penalty. You only do an untimed down at the end of the half or at the end of the fourth quarter. You don't do untimed downs at the end of the quarter, the first quarter or the third quarter. So these guys, they are really. Then they did another one. It was an interception. The Chargers intercepted the ball and they called the pass incomplete. When 2 Chargers collided with each other and one of them caught it. North Turner had to challenge it to get the interception.
And that's even with the new rules being in place, where they were supposed to
go to review.
So once he challenged it, they overturned it.
Right. Roger, y'all need to get this fixed. And I'm talking about Roger Goodell. I'm going to call you about that, Roger. I'm going to have to call you about that.
Hey, I don't care what Villanelle says. If I open a barbecue place, you're more than welcome to come. Just saying.
All right, so the week 1 matchup for the Raiders will be against the San Diego Chargers. Monday night game. You know, the Raiders, it's going to be a Monday night game at Oakland, at Overstock.com Coliseum in Oakland. And I feel like the Raiders are going to want to start this season on a bang. The key is going to be, from week 1 through 4 all the way through the season, can DMC, Darius McFadden, stay healthy? Can Run DMC stay healthy? San Diego's getting older. They lost Ryan Matthews for at least the first 3 weeks of the season. The San Diego Chargers lost Vincent Jackson. Antonio Gates is having a hard time staying healthy. This team's window, I feel like the San Diego Chargers window is closing. If it's not closed,
right.
And Oakland has enough skill position players to where they should be able to do whatever they want to do offensively. But Carson Palmer, no picks, man. We got to protect the ball. And I feel like that the Raiders, because of the skill position players that they have, that front four has been crazy. Dennis Allen has come over and that defense is playing out of its mind. I think the Oakland Raiders will win this Week 1 matchup against the San Diego Chargers.
I honestly, what I've seen during the preseason, I feel that the Oakland Raiders are going to have a tough time. I think it'll be I think it'll be close. I think the Raiders should come out on top of this one. But like Vince said, it's going to come down to how many interceptions Carson Palmer throws. We just read you the stats from Week 1 to Week 3. Week 3 is the most important game of the preseason. 0 touchdowns. 0.
From Carson.
2
0 touchdowns, 2 picks.
So, Terrell Pryor is not ready to start. He looked good, but he's not ready to start.
Right.
I mean, they let go of Jason Campbell, who is, in my opinion, a way better quarterback than Carson Palmer, but I understand the reason why.
Right.
I mean, again, you do have Run DMC back there in the back, but the other question is, how long can he stay healthy? He's looked good. But even with him looking good this preseason, Carson Palmer still throwing interceptions. So what's the point of getting the first down if the next possession is going to be an interception?
Right.
So, I mean, they should win this matchup because I do feel San Diego is getting close to that rebuilding stage to where they're going to have to do something. I mean, you let go of a lot of players. You're losing a lot of players.
You're getting older.
I think Oakland's window is cracked a little bit more than what San Diego's is. I think Oakland should actually win this game.
So we're both saying that after this Week 1 matchup that the Raiders will win. So they'll be 1-0. Now going into the second week matchup, they'll be playing against the Miami Dolphins. Look, Miami's in straight rebuild mode. So I feel like, but they'll be in Miami, but I feel like that they're in straight rebuild mode. So I'm not going to even linger on this one too long. I think that the Raiders will win that game pretty easy. So I feel like they'll be 2-0 after their Week 2 matchup.
I agree. I think that looking at the preseason for the Miami Dolphins, I really think that the Oakland Raiders should easily come away with this one. But again, I hate to dwell on this. It's going to be up to Carson Palmer.
Yep.
Because if you allow McFadden to run the ball 30 times, 33 times a game, you're not going to see him all 16 games.
Exactly.
You're not. They're running an offense style similar, if not exactly the way Houston does.
Right. And
what does Houston do? They run. They run, and then they open it up with the play action. So if you're running, you're getting first down, 2nd and 3, and now you got to throw the ball. And you throw a pick. All you're doing is wearing down those tires on McFadden.
That's it.
And
Tywan Jones can only spell him so much, and he'll be the backup behind Darren. But again,
he's not Michael Bush.
Exactly.
So with Michael Bush being back there,
exactly,
you could easily say, okay, look, we'll take McFadden out for a little bit. Let Bush could carry the load.
Right. Bush left to go to Chicago this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
to be a backup.
Right.
So.
I think we both agree that Miami's going to lose that second matchup. So the Raiders should be 2-0. Now here is the matchup that is going to be very interesting. My co-host here is a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and the Oakland Raiders will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers at home in Oakland. And look, as much as I am a Raiders fan, everybody knows I'm a diehard fan. I'm hoping for the best, but I am definitely preparing for the worst on this one. Look, I'm trying to be an unbiased analyst here, and look, I hope the Raiders win. I hope beyond all kind of hope, but you got hope in one hand and
reality in the other.
So I feel like the Steelers will win this game. I think it's going to be a close matchup. This is what I'm really hoping for. If we lose, I want us to lose showing up. I don't want us to get blown out.
I agree.
So as long as we show up I could care less. I think being 2-1, going into your 4th week matchup is fine.
Yeah, because you're still over 5.
But you have to win. You have to win. It's almost like the first 2 games are must-wins.
Right.
And you can deal with a loss here in week 3.
The biggest problem that I think my colleague is having on this one when it comes to Oakland is you're having Carlton Palmer, who is used to seeing Pittsburgh when he played in Cincinnati.
Right.
The defense this year has looked better this year than it did last year. A whole lot better last year.
And talking about the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Steelers. The Steelers defense looks very, very good. Now, Warren Sapp and everyone else in the NFL can say that they're getting old, which they are, but getting old just adds experience, and this team has got it. And I really honestly think that what happened was in 2009 or 2010 when they played them last.
09, I believe.
09. Raiders came into Heinz Field and won, and it stopped us from going to the playoffs. I think that the only logical thing is the Steelers to actually step up, go to Oakland, and really just let them have it. I mean, because they've been holding that grudge for 3 years now.
Right.
And I mean, but I think that the defense is going to give Oakland the most problems because the only guy that I can honestly see is 43. Carlton Palmer does not like Troy Polamalu at all.
What quarterback in the league does? Only one quarterback in the league like Troy Polamalu, and that's Ben Roethlisberger.
That's it. I mean, because he is that safety. And I honestly, Carlton Palmer, remember seeing him in Cincinnati, and he does not want to see him in Oakland. And if he had any problems in week 1 and 2 about throwing interceptions, you've got Ryan Clark, you've got Taylor. This defense is going to be a nightmare for Oakland.
Yeah, so I think we both agree that
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh will win that week 3 matchup. So the Raiders should be 2-1. Again, the key to me is as far as the Raiders for this season, you have got to win those first 2 matchups. Those are winnable games.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is go in.
You don't want to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because you'll win one of those. You're going to win one of those matchups. You can't. I just don't see them losing to San Diego and Miami. You'll win one of them, but you need to win both of them. And then going into your week 4 matchup, if you're 2-1, you can still live with that.
Yeah. Because if there's one team that you have to beat, it's got to be San Diego. Right. Because that is in your division.
Divisional matchup. And then Miami's in straight rebuild mode. So you have to win those games. It's a Monday night game at home, season opener. You have got to win. You got to win your home games. You got to win the big primetime matchups. And it's a divisional game. It's 3 things going on right there in that first matchup against San Diego.
I agree.
So, again, being 2-1 is not the end of the world after that week 3 matchup. Now, week 4, they'll be playing Denver at Denver. We know everybody's, the hoopla that surrounded the great Peyton Manning, which he is an awesome quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And he'll be quarterbacking the Denver Broncos against the Raiders on their week 4 matchup. This is a tough one for me because this is our division rival, and it's with Peyton Manning there at quarterback. But I feel like because Dennis Allen used to coach here, so he knows his personnel, and he really knows his personnel on the O-line, being he was the defensive coordinator here at Denver. I think that'll be the tip that tips it in the favor of the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, that and the fact of that Peyton Manning didn't really see Oakland a lot.
Right.
And
he has no real film on him.
Yeah, I mean, he's only going off of some old film from old people. I mean, he hadn't really seen Oakland Raider a whole lot in his career. So, I mean, I honestly think this matchup will be a tough one. I think what could easily tip it in Denver's favor is being that Peyton Manning hadn't seen Denver, but Denver hadn't seen Peyton Manning.
Right.
So, I honestly think that if there's any kind of struggle with Oakland won't win. But I'm picking Oakland to win this game.
The key is going to be to control the clock. Keep him off the field. You keep him off the field, and I think everything will be fine. You keep Peyton on the sideline, just like everybody else tried to do when he was in Indianapolis, and you'll be okay. As long as, again, the key to the Raiders all season long will be turnovers.
Yep.
And Darren McFadden staying healthy.
I agree.
We have enough skill position players as long as Darren McFadden is healthy, because with this offense that we're going to be running, we'll be running the Texans type offense. As long as we can run the ball, then we can pass the ball.
Right. and that's going to be the key.
Right.
But if they know you can't pass and all you're doing is running, then they'll take the lumps when they come.
Right.
But all you're doing in the long run is hurting McFadden.
All you're doing is losing. Exactly.
I mean, so let me make this straight. We're in collides at 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. We both agreed that the Raiders will be 3-1 after their Week 4 matchup against the Denver Broncos. And hey, we want to thank you guys for coming out again. Join us on Facebook at couchcoaching.12. Couch Coaching 12. I'm sorry. Right, Couch Coaching 12, and leave your comments on YouTube if you like what you see or you don't like what you see. And if it's something that you want to know or more about your team or any questions you have, please feel free to leave your comments. And again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you after the Week 4 matchup.